What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about more things regarding, the situation with uh, George Floyd and these protests that have been happening in regards to police brutality, as well as protesting against, racial injustice in general. And I kind of want to center it around Black women, especially Black women on the front line, as well as just participating in general, but especially on the front line. All right. So first things first, like somebody's going to get hurt. Really, fuck that. People have already gotten hurt and have lost their lives in these protests. More so the riots, probably more so than the protests, because there's a difference between the protests and the riots. And that's important that's an important distinction to make. I heard like a a pregnant Black woman lost her life, and I've heard that a pregnant Black woman was injured and lost her child as well. You know, and I'm just like, who? I don't think, like, if you're pregnant, I don't really think this is the best place for you to be. Well, especially if you're pregnant, I really don't think this is the best place for you to be at this time. And I can understand wanting to support, but you definitely should prioritize the well-being of you and your unborn child first, and as well, like, where is the father of the child in this situation? You know, and to keep it real, when this situation happens, like when the pregnant women get injured or lose their children or die or whatever, the blame is probably going to be put on them. Unfortunately, like, there's not going to be, oh, let's blame this people or let's blame that group of people. It's more so, let's blame the individual Black woman in this case that participated, right? And that's going to be coming from all groups of people, Black men included, and as well, some Black women are probably going to be coming through with that. So yeah, generally speaking, I don't think that you know Black women really should be on the front lines. Because the front lines are kind of dangerous. Keep it real. And to be even more real, even the U.S. military doesn't put women on the front lines. Like, if you're in the military and you're a woman, you aren't allowed to be on the front lines. You know, something to think about there. And with all this rioting and looting and violence and whatnot, I'm like, well, why the hell didn't anyone just roll up on Derek Chauvin, the dude who had his knee, and the dude who killed him, killed George Floyd, basically, right? Why didn't anyone just roll up on him and take him out? Pow pow, goddamn. Or even better, you know, let's just get four street hood thug ass niggas to come roll up and basically do what Derek did to George, do that to him. Goddamn, slam his ass on the ground, put your knee on his throat, and hold it for about 8 minutes and 46 seconds. you know, let's see how that goes. Let's see if he can last for 8 minutes and 40 seconds, right? Yeah. And if he does, hey, just tack on a couple of more minutes to it. If he doesn't, hey, I'm sorry, bruh. You didn't win this time. Ha ha ha. Right? But let's keep it real. We're still waiting on someone to take out George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman been walking around here for years. God damn it. Living in peace. You know. Um, But when it comes to some black men in regards to, black women being on the front lines, some black men, are saying that, hey, black women shouldn't be on the front lines, and, black women do kind of need to take a step back. That has been brought up too. But also there's some black men who are saying that, they didn't ask black women to get on the front lines. Black women took it upon themselves to get on the front lines. You know, and technically speaking, that is true. The black male collective, or I don't even think any black male in general, I don't think did ask black women to jump on the front lines. That is true. Nevertheless, black women are there, you know. So are you going to allow black women to continue being there? You know, there's like, for them, they're operating like, oh, well, if she ain't in my family, then it ain't my concern. While these black women who are on the front lines are operating like, you know, every black man is their family, goddamn and shit. you know, my mailman black, my garbage man black girl, the Amazon Prime delivery guy black sister. We gotta come out there for them. We can't let our black kings down. Right. And, that's just very interesting how that works. Um, like a segment of black women who are just trying to see themselves in every single black man. And then there's a segment of black men who are definitely not reciprocating that when it comes to black women. Again, I said segments, not all. All right. you know, and also just generally speaking, like a lot of black women I've been noticing lately, especially, like, have been doing so much mental gymnastics in regards to justifying why they're, you know, in these protests that are violent, are becoming violent and turning into riots, and on the front lines doing so many gymnastics like, oh, well, George had a mother. Well, I guess his mother is deceased, but George had a sister and a daughter. That affects black women too. It's just not about black men. He has black female family members. You know, maternal instinct is femininity. And yeah, I would agree with that. But as any good mother knows, you may have a maternal instinct, but you also have to practice discernment too. Like, you can't just keep on letting your maternal instinct take over in regards to your children and wanting, to shield them from everything, right? Some, like, as in the Bible, like, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child, right? And this is sort of like a similar situation. Not quite the same, but similar, the concept is very similar, you know. And I think this is going to end up spoiling black men as a collective, you know. It's going to end up making black men become or feel resentful toward black women for emasculating them, especially in public. And that's not going to go over well. It's just going to further perpetuate the divide between, black men and black women in the long run, right? And also, the black community does hype up black women to engage in this type of behavior, low key, right? you know, with, like, well, for one, with the whole, like, strong, independent black woman stereotype, right? And holding a brother down and a ride or die chick, right? That was pushed, or has been pushed, and is still being pushed in, um, you know, rap and hip hop music, right? Which, of course, we know is very influential in the community, whether we want to admit it or not. right? And also, recently, especially, we're seeing a lot of like, artwork that's featuring black women, phenotypically black women, very much being, social justice warriors and going after the cops and beating them down. Like I saw once one photo of like this group of black women like jumping and tag teaming and beating up this white cop. Like, and one sister had like the baton behind his neck or in front of his neck, and then the other sisters was going in. Like, shouldn't this be like what the dudes are doing, the black men are doing to this white cop, right? Then I saw one photo that was extremely hilarious and extremely, and as well, extremely like, it was like super boo. A black woman, of course, she is unequivocally black, right? Who is dressed up kind of like in a Superman suit, and she's swooping in and saving her boo, her black boo. And the photo it says like super boo. What the heck? And then there was another photo of like a black woman. Oddly enough, she was nude for some reason, but she was like holding the world, I think. And then she was holding a crown, extending it to her black cane, while her black cane was like wrapped up in um, a U.S. flag that was fashioned in the style of a noose, or either a noose that was fashioned in the style of a flag. I don't know, but a noose that was fashioned like a flag or whatever, right? And then I think maybe I remember her having like books as well. So she educated. Oh yeah, she was really fit too. You know, so she like educated, got a good body, can hold the world up, and also she got the crown for her black king that's getting strung up by America. God damn, like this, and then black women are seeing this imagery and stuff, and you know as well as the imagery that was promoted in hip hop too. And it's like, well, black women may feel like they have to live up to that, right? Live up to the stereotype. Like, some black women feel like they have to live up to the stereotype of being, like, really curvaceous or like having a really big booty or something like that. That's why, like, a segment of black women have been, you know, jumping on the BBL train, right? And getting butt shots and things like that, right? Because they want to live up to that stereotype that people expect them to be. And the same kind of applies here, right? And also, I'm pretty sure black men are making this imagery, right? And also that, again, I mentioned this one before, but that creepy, disturbing photo with the little black girl, you know, like a zombie or either a vampire. I thought she was a vampire. Some people said zombie. Perhaps a zombie vampire. Who? Whatever. But at this point, it's like she was like, is she even human at this point? Like really? Because low key, she was dehumanized in the photo. Yeah, she's taking out the white cop, but she was also dehumanized in the photo. She doesn't even look like a fully human being, or it looks like the remnants of a human being at best. You know, and that's something to be aware of and cognizant of too, like the low key dehumanization that's going along with this. But that's a whole nother story, though, right? So this situation just further proves that when it comes to the community, black men equal black people, black women equal black women, not black people. And what I mean by that is it sort of seems like, when it's a black man's issue, it seems to be like a black community's issue or a black people's issue. But when it's like a black woman's issue, it's more so just a black woman's issue. You know, not really seen as a community issue, right? That's worth all the advocacy and hoopla, right? And to be real, keep it all the way 100. Like, there's no such thing as black men's issues in the black community. There's like there are black people's issues and black women's issues. And some people are saying, well, black women, they seemingly would benefit from having issues specifically geared towards them, or having more visibility. But the thing is, black people's issues take precedent over black women's issues. And the thing is, black men's issues are disguised as black people's issues, right? And in a sense, there's an argument for that, because it's like, well, if it affects your black male relatives and you care about them, then that would be an issue that we should all be concerned about. But again, when the issue is affecting the black female relatives, then like, well, we got more important things to talk about. you know, we just got more important things at the moment, sister. And as well, you know, let's be real too about this. If police brutality affected exclusively or even just primarily black women, then it probably would just be treated like how colorism is treated. Let's be real. Many black men don't really give a fuck about, say, colorism until it negatively affects them specifically, not their daughters, not their sisters, not their mothers, and any other female family members. Them specifically. All right? Half of the time, these niggas don't even care about their own biological kids. But you supposed to see every black man as family, though. Every black man as your son. The black woman is the mother of civilization, the mother of the human race. She birthed us all. She the black queen. The black woman is God. All right. They'll say all that to hype your ass up to do this shit too. And also what I'm seeing is, like, black women love some, let's say some, not all, but a segment of black women love to trauma bond with black men. That's been thrown around here too. And I think black women think, perhaps on like a subconscious level, that it's going to help them, like it's going to help solidify and perpetuate black love. And, bring the black men back to the black woman type stuff, And I'm not sure if black men as a collective really want to trauma bond with black women or with anybody. I think black men trauma bond with themselves at times, with other black men. And I think that black men also, on the other hand, and like they want to get away from the trauma, which is logical. Who wants to deal with trauma? Situations like these are, with George Floyd and police brutality and things like that, like issues that really affect black men, like this. These are as far as black men are going to go when it comes to trauma bonding with black women, I think, as a collective. I don't think it's going to end up turning into like a relationship, They're trauma bonding with black women largely because they need black women. They can't really trauma bond with other groups of women because other groups of women are kind of like, very ignorant to that, purposely and not purposely ignorant to that. So who else is left? There's no competition in that. So black women win. You know, congratulations, black woman. And also, something else that's really important here, the black woman's public image. It's going to be taking some hits. I know black women trying to get some camera time, and I do see a lot of media featuring black women being militant and fighting the power, as well as black girls, fighting the power too. Of course, they are phenotypically black, right? In the mainstream media and black social media are pushing these images. And some black women are taking advantage of the spotlight and soaking up the attention. You know, but don't get it twisted. If other groups of women were doing it in the past, like black women, then black women would be pushed to the back or to the side. At least when it comes to, black social media, they'll be highlighting, oh, look at Becky going hard for black man. Look at Selena going in for the black king. Look at Chun Lee spinning bird kick. Yes, yes. Kicking all them racist cops' ass. Yes. Kim Woo, come on through. Right? And, it just, because that's not happening, the focus more so is on black women. Right? And I don't want to trivialize it and all down to, oh, just black women wanting attention, because I think and that's a part of it, but I think there's more to it than that. The sisters, they want to help and support. They do, and I think some sisters who are coming through and supporting and things like that, I think they do have good intentions overall. You know, I trust them in their intentions way more than I trust these non-black people and non-black women in their intentions. I'm not sure about them, because this is a bit strange, when it comes to this support that, black people are getting all of a sudden, even though we've had many a case like this before happen, right? And white people and other non-black people didn't come through like that, right? So I am suspicious, and I think you should be suspicious as well, all right? Personally, I think that a lot of these non-black people, especially white people, I just think they may be bored. I mean, we have been on quarantine for a minute now, so they bored. They want something to do. Also, some white people want to make sure that the black folks don't riot and don't turn against them and poison them, kill them, whatnot. So let's go, give them some support here, so that not all white people are like that. We're not all like that. We don't support that. You know that sort of a thing. And that is like, we ain't headed toward no pro-black utopia. We ain't headed toward no Wakanda forever land. Not if we are including non-black people, especially non-black people who have non-black spouses too, which a lot of these black men who are coming through, black male celebrities who are coming through, have non-black spouses, which is their business, but I do think it's a bit weird, and I think it's also a bit weird that black women who are staunchly against swirling are coming through and, supporting them and supporting the cause. I can understand the cause, because it's more than just, say, George Floyd, but still, that's something to think about, though, all of a sudden, to these black women who were staunchly against swirling is not really a factor, or doesn't matter, or it's not big, it's not a deal breaker at this point. Interesting. And as well, I think black women who are supporting and helping, um, they probably also have it in their mind like, well, if black women don't do it, then who else will? You know, I'm not sure if black women as a collective completely trust black men to do it on their own. You know, I don't think black women are really trusting black men to come through. And, I think that black women, it's hard for them to sit back and let black men come, you know, do what men do. Because I think it's just in their mind, like, well, if they don't come through and help, it's not going to happen. And I'm not completely dismissing that idea. All right. I think that, sadly enough, I do think there's some truth in that. And, but back to the black woman's image. Kind of got a bit sidetracked there for a moment. But so all of this protesting and fighting the power ends up perpetuating negative stereotypes about black women that end up contributing to their, the treatment and like their treatment and desirability or lack of desirability in like outside of the community and inside of the community. you know, and they like these negative stereotypes are already there. I know someone who come through with that, like, well, they're already there, so who cares? Like, that's true, but it's like, do you want to make a problem worse? Contributing to the stereotypes like, oh, they're loud, angry, bitter, masculine, aggressive, black male obsessed. Right? And notice, this is something that I think is flying under the radar here. But notice that many black men in the media are not being portrayed like that. And meanwhile, this affects black men a lot more than black women. Well, directly, I'll say a lot more, right? But notice the black men in the media are being shown as more so like calm, rational, peaceful, hurt, passionate, not angry, right? And I know that may come through with like, oh, women in general sometimes are, when they are stereotyped like that at times, and men when they do things are stereotyped as passionate. Like if the man's angry, then it's passionate. If a woman's angry, then she's angry. I can understand that stereotype, but nevertheless, this is playing out in the media, right? So black men's image, I'm not sure if it's taking a hit quite like black women's image is, right? Because the black women giving these speeches, they are showing up and showing out. They giving some good speeches. Coming through and preaching, sister. Right? Fight the power, sister. Super boo, come through. Right? And the black male, on the other hand, their speeches aren't quite as, I guess, militant and radical, at least from the ones that I've been seeing so far. Right? I'm sure there may be some out there, but from the ones that I've seen circulating in the media, not so much. And again, these are stereotypes that black men, some, throw in black women's faces. Like, loud, bitter, angry, masculine, aggressive, and use those as reasons to dismiss you from their dating options. And I know it's some black women, it's more than about getting a date. It's more serious than getting a date. We got to come through and pontificate and advocate. Yes, yes, yes. All right. But at one point or another, this is all going to die down. And when it does die down, then it's going to be, at one point or another, you're probably going to want to date. Let's be real. And some black women like, well, I got a husband. Okay, fine. All right. So it won't be you. But statistically speaking, most black women aren't married. I guess some black women may be in relationships. I don't know about those statistics, but still, those relationships are subject to change. Just saying. you know, but don't get it twisted. Remember, it's going to go back to business as usual at one point or another, both inside and outside of the community. Please, 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 black people and black women, or especially black women, I should say, do not be fooled by the illusion of inclusion. The system of white supremacy will still be going. Black women will still be marginalized within the black community. Mhm. And also, like a lot of these black male celebrities speaking out don't even fuck with black women like that. And where are their non-black spouses at? Michael Jordan spoke out. And y'all know Michael Jordan don't speak about shit. And many of the black women who are, as I mentioned previously, like many of the black women who are supporting are staunchly against swirling. But again, that's another thing. But you notice they always come back to black. They always come back to black, though. When shit get really, really whack, they always come back to black. And, some of these black men, swirling and non-swirling, they are scared. Black men are scared because the shit done hit the fan. Shit done got real, right? They feeling like it could have been them, right? Many of black men probably do look like George Floyd, right? They don't want to be alone on their own in the black struggle. So again, this is when the trauma bonding will come in for black men, right? And also, these dudes are being pro-black all of a sudden, but they're being pro-black for themselves and their best interest, not for black women or even the black community. If they weren't the primary beneficiaries, then they wouldn't be doing it. All right. And also notice these industry niggas ain't in these protests and, getting attacked and shit and on the front lines. All right. And please believe we are not headed to some pro-black utopian Wakanda land forever, goddammit. All right. We ain't going there. It ain't going there. All right. We are on a fast train toward multicultural town, multiculturalville, multicultural land. All right. We really have been in multicultural, well, in integrationville or whatever. We've been in that for like a while, right? And, black women, they're slow on the uptake. Every other person in this country, or every other group in this country, are low-key operating on multiculturalville, or multicultural town. But black women are operating under pro-black, pro-black town. And I'm just not sure if that mentality is really going to help black women in the long run. And it's like, it doesn't mean that you have to jump out in there and become like a wild ass swirler on the loose. You don't have to swirl until you hurl. But it's still something to think about when it comes to like being in spaces that are not black, are primarily black. And I think black men tend to have an easier time, perhaps, I've heard that black men perhaps assimilate easier than black women. I've heard that before. I'm not sure. And also, I've been hearing for some reason on occasion, like oh, Derek Chauvin, that demon police officer who killed George Floyd, his wife left him, and they're like, oh, she gonna get some BBC. I'm like, really? At a time like this? Like, the thing is, like, the BBC ain't providing protection. All right? The BBC ain't building shit. Ain't building no infrastructure, ain't building no hospitals, ain't building no um, police forces, no schools. Right now, it's not annihilating white supremacy or white people. All right, because I've heard that thrown around at least once. So I was like, oh, the black man can annihilate, you know, the white race with his dick. All right, well, tell me when that happens. And it's also not causing non-black women to turn on non-black men in favor of black men. Why would they? Especially white women. You know, they can have the nigger dick and white supremacy. Why have one good thing when you can have two good things? And also, it's not like that is a criteria or a requirement when it comes to dating. It's not like black men are saying, well, Becky, if you come, if you dating me, you gotta go hard in the paint for black people. You gotta work hard for this BBC, Becky. I'm pretty sure those conversations aren't happening. All right. And smart women, to be real, smart women care about more than just dick. So yeah, it's like, you know, the times in your life you're probably not having sex more than you're having sex. Even if you're like a sex worker, you're still right. You know, people in their lives, they tend like over the course of your lifetime, you're probably not going to have your half of your life ain't gonna be having sex, like literally in bed having sex. Yeah. Probably more than half of it is going to be the opposite, right? I'm just saying. And and also, like, just in general though, you ain't a black queen if you're on the front lines. You know, you're a pawn or perhaps a knight. But not a black queen. And also, I do want to speak on a couple of more things. Just some things that have popped up from celebrities and social media in regards to this situation. Like P Diddy, P Diddy coming through and posting a video featuring Sister Soldier, right? But previously, he was just posted a advertisement for his alcoholic drink Ciroc using a racially ambiguous model. So, a little interesting there. LL Cool J came through and said, quote unquote, imagine how people raising biracial children feel right now. Exclamation point times 6. This is crazy. Exclamation point times 2. Then folks came at him on social media and then he went crazy. And also, like, why are you centering biracial folk and their non-black parents' pain or whatever we want to call it right now? Considering that I'm pretty sure that George Floyd was not biracial. I'm not even sure if George Floyd had biracial children. He was in an interracial relationship, perhaps. And also, has Courtney Ross reached out to George Floyd's family at all? Probably not. She got, for her Facebook relationship status, she got single, ready to mingle. All right. So she just like, don't cry for me, y'all. I'll be okay. Another BBC is on the way. Right. And Madonna posted a video of her black adopted son dancing to Michael Jackson's They Don't Care About Us. She used on her black son to deliver the message. Low key, still staying on code, low key. Right. And she got backlash for that, but there were some black folks defending her like, it was excellent, Madonna. You are the queen of pop. I'm like, calm down. And as well, today is Blackout Tuesday. I didn't know that until I was on, going through social media and found that out. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and a rapper by the name of Tokyo Jets, first time hearing about her, came through and she made a joke about George Floyd and got backlash from it. Like, she gonna George Floyd your ass or something like that. And they came for her. They trying to George Floyd her ass. God damn it. But, this is probably the biggest hit of her career. So, right on through. Right. And I know, like, let's be real. In regards to this situation, black women, I think they maybe brought up like, what do black women get out of this protesting, and also like why black women should, support, say, Stephen Jackson, who kind of said, some, low key disparaging things relating to black women, right? And some people are saying, now's not the time. This is divisive, you know. And I ran across one comment on social media, and I'm going to read the comment to you. Um, like a black woman posted something to the effect of like, oh, Stephen Jackson posted, some disparaging things about black women, I don't think we should support, I don't really appreciate that. And, you know, things like that. And this black man came through, you know, and he posted, well, quote unquote, if he meant all black women, then yes, he was wrong. But this isn't exactly the right time to be attacking a black man. That's defending another one's honor. I hear you, but that shit ain't helping, excuse my French. All that comment is going to do is stoke up more black dissension between black men and black women, which is the worst thing possible anyway. F who someone else is fucking. I don't know why he censored himself and uncensored himself. But as long as they love you and you love them, color doesn't matter. Half the black men and black women who hate on each other, especially for dating outside the race, probably believe in God. If that's the case, then you already know that race shit doesn't matter when it comes to a wife or a husband. A good wife comes from God, and we're all human. Tell God you love him and hate his creations. LOL. Even if some black men hate on black women, it's wrong, but that doesn't mean we're all like that. It's like people are too ignorant to ignore the self-haters on both sides and continue to stir the pot. I'm all about black love within the community. I love my black sisters. My D don't discriminate though. He said, I promise you this is a real comment. I promise you I ain't make this shit up. And she responded and she said, anyway, I'm sure your dick doesn't discriminate. That's the case for a large number of black men, which is why we have so many quote unquote baby mamas out here. But if the goal of black folks is to build generational wealth and have some actual power over our lives, then we do need to be more discriminating with the people we choose as mates. And that's the comments that I got, and, collected. Um, but yeah, people coming through saying that it's not the right time. Now it's not the right time. This is divisive. We need to be together, the black man and the black woman together. And again, I don't really see this togetherness being pushed towards the non-black women, but again, another story. But really, to be real, now is the best time to do it. Why? Because these niggas are in a very vulnerable state right now. Now's the time to strike before they fully recover. If not now, then when? You know, after they don't need your ass anymore, you missed the time to strike. And as well, just generally speaking, folks look for reasons to drag black women anyway. Let's be real, both in and outside of the community, dragging black women is a sport. All right, there's the men's division and the women's division. The black men's division and the black women's division. All right. But I'm going to bring this video to a close. I've gone on for long enough. I didn't mean to go on for this long, but I just had some things to say, and, it took a minute. But I thank you very much for coming through and watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.